All right, Chuck's Chat, week 8, college football. Start off here. Last week I went 9-7, 0-1 on locks. My lock was Alabama, and because of
They
that,
lost outright.
they did lose outright. I had to pay homage to Tennessee football here. Got to give it up to them. That game was why you love college football right there. Just everything about it. Great game and a great day overall, really. Ferry, how'd you do last week?
7-3 and 1-0 on my locks. Yeah,
all right.
Ferry.
Yeah, it was a solid day.
In the clubhouse.
Yeah, it was a solid one.
And Ben.
Yeah, I went 8-12, 0-1 on locks. My worst week, I think, this year. I'm pretty sure it has to be. My lock was Texas minus 17.5. They won by like 3, I think, so it didn't even come close to covering. They weren't really covering at all during the game. They were down.
Did they score 17?
Yeah, it was 24-21.
Yeah, they scored 17.
All right.
But yeah, looking to bounce back. 81, 65, and 3 overall in the year. Blocks 2, 4, and 1. Not great. I can't miss one this week though.
Oh, okay. Okay. Also, before we start, we're recording this as the Phillies are trailing 8-5.
Yep.
In the 8th, I do have to put it out there. Ferry, feel free to blame me. When we were up 4-0, I texted our fantasy football group chat saying thanks for coming out, Padres. Because I thought
we did. We all called them out immediately on it too.
And then you knew Cliff Lee right away. You're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I take full responsibility for my actions in this game, and I will be suspending myself from I don't know from what, but talking about the Phillies until the next win.
Yeah, you're suspended for the Phillies until Friday.
Yeah. All right. So best bet from last week. Well, bet regret. I'll do Utah.
Right there with
I
you.
think USC kind of proved me wrong a little bit. They're definitely a really good team, which I thought they were good, but their defense still isn't good, but they battle. And I didn't watch the end, but apparently there's a bunch of shitty calls that went against them.
That's what I heard too. I fell asleep in mid third quarter.
Okay. And then best bet, Bowling Green plus 7-1 outright. Ferry.
Yeah, worst bet was Utah for me as well. It just stung, because they still got the win. Emotional win, it seemed like, because they had the special helmets for their 2 kids, which is why I thought they would be an easy cover as well. But best bet was either, not to dance on your parade, but either Tennessee money line or my over Duke UNC, which was my lock. It was a slower start first half. Second half, they just let it all out. The over 70 easily hit.
Nice. Yeah, no, that really sucked to receive that text from you, but you probably knew that. Ben, go
ahead. I got 2 best bets. They're my really only 2 plays I hammered. Georgia Southern plus 12 versus JMU.
Oh, one outright. Yeah.
Nice. And Michigan against State Penitentiary. How can I take them at the big house?
Yeah, they fucked them up.
Worst bets a lot. I didn't do that well last week. Like Texas, Kansas, they didn't even come close to covering either of them. Minnesota lost outright. They were 6-point favorites. Not great. I don't know why they continued to be made favorites in these games, but next week, on to a new week.
Now it's the 2 bets you had there now playing each other. Minnesota gives the Happy Valley. I'm sure I know which side you're on.
Maybe.
All right. All right. Games of the week here. We got a top 25 matchup in the ACC. The Syracuse Orange go to the second Death Valley. Clemson is a 13.5 point favorite. Total is 50. Ben, you can start us off here.
What'd you have the spread at? 13.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking Clemson here. I think this is a rout. This is big dog on campus, little dog who's pretty good this year, goes into Death Valley and gets the Bills happen. They circle the wagons around them and blow them out. I think they might win by 28. I think this is an early route. They set the tone early.
Fair, what do you think?
I'm right there with Ben. I have Clemson minus 13.5 as well. I will just never believe Syracuse being good at football. They just shouldn't be. And Clemson just is on a roll right now, especially their defense. And DJ's looking, DJ Ukulele is what I call him, is actually looking okay now.
Yeah, no, I'm aligned with you guys. Clemson minus 13.5. Yeah, I think it's going to be a beatdown. Syracuse has gotten like every break this year, and now
It's time.
they're going to get, they're going to get pantsed. Next game out of Texas, I'm taking off
Why?
because Oklahoma State, Spencer Sanders might not play, and they have a ton of injuries. So
That's fair.
UCLA at Oregon. Is the Pac-12 the second best conference in college football?
No.
I don't know.
They're
I
the
don't.
third.
I plead the fifth on that. I don't want to.
Third behind who, Ben?
Be careful.
All I can tell you is the Big Ten's fourth.
Oh wow.
It's a Big 12 you have second.
Yeah, obviously. Obviously.
No, they got Kansas. You can't have Kansas as a front runner for the conference.
I mean,
You're gonna be the best.
Oregon's a 6.5 point favorite at home. Total is 71.5. Fair. What do you
Oh,
think about
That's
this
a
game?
lot.
that is a lot. That would be fun to see Chip Kelly kind of go off with that over. That would be a fun bet. But my pick would be Oregon minus 6. I just think the Pac-12's got to implode eventually here, like they always do every year. They just beat up on each other. So I think Oregon just handles UCLA.
I disagree. I think UCLA goes in there and wins outright. I don't trust Bo Nix. I don't care if he looks good in some games this year. He's still going to be Bo Nix to me. I trust Chip Kelly. He is a college savant. And then what was the over, Chuck?
71.5.
I'm putting that on my card because that's fun.
All right. I'm with Fair here on Oregon. I don't think I'll bet the game. Maybe I'll bet the game. I don't know. But yeah, you know what? I'll have Oregon minus 6. It just feels like a kind of big line here for it, kind of like Michigan Penn State last week. Like UCLA feels kind of easy. So I'll just go with Oregon here. Bo Nix is way better at home than on the road. Road Bo Nix, I don't know. I'll fade road Bo Nix, but home Bo Nix I like. Mississippi State at Alabama. Bama is a 21-point favorite. The total is 61. Nick Saban off a loss at Alabama is 29-1.
What was the spread?
21.
Okay.
Or I think he's like 29-1 or 29-2 after he loses a game like the rest of the season at Alabama.
Right?
At Bama. Yeah, they've only, so interestingly enough, Saban's only had 2 undefeated seasons at Alabama. So it feels like every year when he does lose, it's like, oh shit, like what's going on with Bama? But this happens all the time that they lose in the regular season once. So Ben, if you want to lead us off here on this one.
I mean, I think you really didn't even hit at the fact that this is a dead player game. Because I'm a morally obligated man. I will be taking Mississippi State plus 21.5. I think they keep it close. I don't know if they can win. Maybe I'll bet them outright, and maybe this is just not a good year for Bama. But
the last 2 years, Alabama has beaten Mississippi State 100-9.
Okay.
Sorry, 90-9.
Okay. So this is 2022. What do I care? Last year, Pitt outscored a bunch of people.
They've scored Mississippi State. Mississippi State
Give
has
me a
scored
break.
16 points the past
Do you know how
4
many?
times
Do you know?
Bama.
How does that mean anything? Do you know how much Pitt's beaten Georgia Tech by the last 2 years combined?
You're not Alabama.
Oh,
last I checked.
Yeah, we won a fucking conference last year. Oh wait, they did so.
Easy.
Anyway,
I know Chuck just hates everything whenever anyone picks about Bama because he's a roll tide roll boy, and I'm taking Mississippi State because I have integrity.
Okay. Fair, what do you think?
I thought Bama as well. I then saw the headline of the kid passing away, but it still doesn't matter at Bama. Utah taught me anything
That's a
last
crazy
week.
statement.
Well, Utah taught me anything last week. It's
What
that
doesn't matter?
that they're just not going to cover. I mean,
Oh, okay.
like the Utah told me that last week, so I'm going to hold on to that. And Bama, coming off a loss just at home. I don't think Mississippi State's that great either. Will Rogers is, I thought was that guy, but I don't know if he's really that guy. Mike Leach is always all over the place. But Bama minus 21. I don't want it to go above the football number, but Bama 21.
Yeah, and I also like Bama first half minus 13 here, under 2 scores, under 2 touchdowns, for all those same reasons. They're gonna be dialed in this week. They're getting chewed out for sure. Last game, and Farrah, you can start us off with this one. Kansas State going to TCU, night game. TCU's a 3.5-point favorite. Total is 54.5. We could have some chaos in the Big 12 coming down the stretch here.
This game is going to be a lot of fun. Love the purple on purple battle. I would love to give my pick, but it is my lock of the week, so I gotta hold on to it. But I do love this game.
Ben, is your lock also in this game?
No,
No.
If I had to guess, I assume Ferry's going Kansas State.
I would also guess that.
I'm rolling home team because I'm digging Duggan. And shout out Jamie Dixon. Horned Frogs are cooler than Wildcats. Their purple is going to beat their purple, if that statement made any sense. TCU minus 3.5.
I'll take Kansas State plus 3.5. I don't know if it'll be on my card, but TCU, they're kind of squeaking by here against Kansas and against Oklahoma State. Kansas State's just looked really good, and their one loss to Tulane. Like, you can't really lose to Tulane, but Tulane's ranked. So
Tulane is ranked.
They've been through a lot.
It's a mess down there for sure. All right. There's a couple other big games. I don't know if you guys wanted to substitute one in for Texas, because there is those are just all the ranked unranked. Anyone want to talk about Minnesota, Penn State?
I didn't even make a pick for that on my card.
No.
Ben? No. All right.
What
okay.
School? Never heard of it.
And then the only other one, maybe Ole Miss, LSU. If you guys want to talk about that, or just move on to our cards here.
I'm going to do the cards.
Yeah, I've got the cards.
All right. Well, Ferry, you're first place this week, so lead us off.
All right. Like we said, Clemson minus 13.5. So I don't believe Syracuse should be good at football. You just mentioned Ole Miss, LSU. I feel like a sucker, but I like Ole Miss +2. I feel like it's not sharp, and it goes against our usual logic. Why is LSU favorite, even though they're in Baton Rouge, if I'm right? Or are they in Oxford? Okay, yeah, they're, which makes some sense, but I'm getting sick and tired of taking LSU and thinking that they actually have a pulse of a football team. Like I can't keep taking them and losing. I'm getting tired of it. So I like Ole Miss +2. Like I said, Oregon -6. Pac-12 has to implode eventually here, and it might be this week. I didn't really know what to make of the Texas game. I liked the over, but then I forgot about Spencer Sanders being out. But I'll still stick with the over because it's Big 12. Bama -21, like we discussed. That's my lock. Tulane, Memphis. I like Tulane -7. I'm happy for that program with what they've been through, obviously. Memphis has try to seat that in there every time I have a chance. But Memphis has lost the last 2 games by a total of 3 points. So I think it would be tough for them to get up again for a tough one. I understand Tulane might have the jitters. When you see a team like that sneak in the top 25, they kind of come out, thinking they're hot shit and then kind of fall flat. But I think that they actually might be, decent. They're at home. And Memphis is just going to be tough to get up. I don't think they're that good. Anyways, moving on. Purdue, Wisconsin. I'm going to take the Big Ten under here, under 51. Purdue might be decent, but I'm 0-2 betting on them this year. So in my mind, they stink. And Wisconsin, I think in everyone's mind, they stink. So just going to give me the under with Big Ten. Should be an ugly game. JMU, Marshall. I like JMU -12.5. Marshall stinks. Yep, that's a shot at Notre Dame. But I think JMU bounces back after being ranked now that they're back in reality. going back home to Harrisonburg should be a good environment against the shitty Marshall team. Then Houston Navy. I like Navy +3. I don't.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I thought I heard that they have some type of like it's like a big game for them this year. Like they have. I don't know if it's homecoming type of thing or something. They got something
Every
going on
game is
there.
a battle.
And every game is a battle down there in the sea. But I think they have something going on that weekend that's like, hey, it's a big weekend. I don't know what it is, but that's why I like Navy +3 and Dana's just having it down here. Then I have Kansas Baylor. I like Kansas +8, another sucker bet for me, but I think they finally cover again. I think they still have a pulse, and Baylor just might not be that good, even though they got, they had a tough loss last week on Thursday. And then I have my lock to save.
All right. Give me 1 second. Okay. So I'm kind of like trying to figure out my lock. All right, I think I got it. I don't really love it, but whatever. All right, Navy +3. Houston doesn't really defend anyone, and when you don't defend anyone in play, the triple option, you're fucked. It's just you have no shot. Navy Houston under 51.5. It kind of just contradicted what I just said, but I think with the running the ball aspect of it, they can keep it low scoring. SMU +3.5 against Cincinnati. I think this is a little too much respect for Cincinnati. SMU, I think, can win the game out right here. It's kind of what I feel like the line's telling me. SMU also dominated Navy, and they just ended up backdooring them. Like SMU might actually be kind of good or decent, I guess. Nevada +7 against San Diego State. I don't think San Diego State's good, and Nevada should be able to keep within a touchdown at home. South Carolina +3.5 at home against A&M. This kind of feels like both teams are off bye, but this kind of feels like A&M left it all out. They kind of emptied the tank against Bama, and they're going to come into this game like not the most motivated. And Shane Beamer will have the boys fired up because it's a home game, SEC, all that, and they might just blitz them out of the gate and be able to keep it in the number for us. ECU +5 at home against UCF. Miami -8.5 at home against Duke. This game kind of feels like Oklahoma, Kansas last week. I don't think Duke's very good, and Miami just has way more talent. They've dominated Duke the past 2 years. Give me a second to pull up the stats. Past 2 years, Miami has beaten Duke 47-10 and 48-0. So there's a significant talent edge, and they're at Miami. So I'll take Miami there. They did dominate that box score against Virginia Tech and only won by 6. They probably should have covered that game. Maybe they're turning it around. EMU, Ball State over 59.5. Oregon -6 against UCLA. Louisville -2.5 against Pitt.
What? You wanted to try like you're reading your cards?
No, sorry, I forgot that I still have a couple picks. Clemson -13.5.
I'm sure you did, yeah.
Against Syracuse. That also Louisville and Pitt, they're 2 win totals I have going against each other. So this is just it's not fun. But I need Pitt to win more, actually. Akron, Kent State over 68, just 2 teams that don't defend anyone. Wisconsin -2.5 against Purdue. This feels like a weird, like Purdue's 5-2, Wisconsin, I think it's below 500, so them being 2.5-point favorites, and they've dominated Purdue. I think they've won at least 5 straight against Purdue, so I think they'll cover for us here. And Boise +3 against Air Force. Boise has been much different since they fired their OC and Hank Bachmeier transferred. So I think they can win the game outright here. And then I just have my lock.
Okay, so Georgia Tech -3 versus Virginia. Tulsa -13 at Temple. Temple stinks. Not really a home field advantage. Ohio State, Iowa under 49.
48-0 Ohio State.
Maybe. Clemson -13.5 versus Hughes. Rutgers -3 at home against Indy. For some reason, I feel like I keep betting on both these teams, whether it's for or against them. Here I like Rutgers at home. They're respectable. Central Michigan -6.5 versus Bowling Green. They're not very good this year, but they're 6-point favorites at home against a pretty good Bowling Green team. I'll roll with Central Michigan. UCLA +6 at Oregon, also over 71.5. Texas -6.5 at OK State. I'm probably still going to bet Texas because hook 'em. No matter what the line ends at, I'm not sure where it's going to end at with all the injuries on the OK State side. Wake Forest -20.5 at home against BC. This was almost my lock. It probably should be my lock. It's not going to be my lock. I think BC sucks in Wake Forest at home. Nice little right below a touchdown number. Give me Wake Forest -20.5. Memphis +7 at Tulane. Very sorry, but JMU last week became 25. They lost outright. I think Memphis is going to win outright at Tulane. James Madison -12 versus Marshall. I agree with you, Ferry. Marshall stinks. James Madison is good. Shouldn't be ranked, but they're good. Minnesota +4 at State Penitentiary. TCU -3.5 versus Kansas State. Mississippi State +21.5 versus Bama, dead player game. SMU +2.5 versus Cincy. I'm on the same page as you with that one, Chuck. And my lock, I'll save.
All right.
Would you just want me to do it now?
Yeah, just do it now.
So you might call me a homer, but I think Pitt wins out.
I knew it.
I don't know what I like. I'm sorry. I just think they win. I think they're the better team.
All right.
That's unfortunate. Very.
It's unfortunate for you. You have a win. You have a win total.
Yeah, they're gonna win exactly 8, so I win my win total, but they're gonna lose this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the under 54 in the Kansas State TCU game. I think it's a weird number. It might, yeah, it's surprisingly. This may come back and make me look like a real big dum-dum, but I feel like Vegas knows something here. It seems so low that I'm like, what do they know? I gotta take the under, unfortunately.
So it's looking like there's gonna be 20-mile-an-hour winds.
Oh, I like that.
Good pick.
Under, all right, under City there.
All right. My lock is LSU -120 on the money line against Ole Miss. This line just stinks, and Ole Miss's resume is not very good. There's a real shot that they end like 8-4, and they're 7-0 right now. Let me see. I'm just gonna pull up their wins this year. They beat. They gave up 34 against Auburn. They were trailing 22-10 at the half against Vanderbilt. Beat Kentucky by 3, who's not very good, and Tulsa by 8. This is gonna be a tough one for them in Death Valley. So, like LSU, even though Ferry, I agree with you. I hate that I keep going with this team, and Brian Kelly keeps sucking. But I think this is the week.
I get it.
My lock was almost Wisconsin, but yeah,
that's gross.
Yeah, Cat wanted to keep them out of it. All right, Ferry, who do you think is going to be in the college football playoff?
That's like I said, I think Pac-12 does implode. Like I just feel like that happens every year. I still think Bama makes it, so I'm going to go with shit. That might mean 3 SEC schools. Shit. Fuck. All right. Yeah, I guess there's 3, and I guess I gotta go with Clemson. That's
Ohio State doesn't make it.
Oh, shit.
Or
dude.
Michigan.
Yeah, fuck Michigan. Fuck, dude. I feel like. Oh my
it's
god.
4 teams, Ferry.
That's tough. That's tough.
You want me to do it? It's pretty simple.
Oh well, what Clemson's got the 1 seed. I mean, I get it.
It's 4 11-1 teams: Bama, Georgia, Tennessee, and Ole Miss. SEC overall.
What?
That's simple,
Michigan
dude.
beats the shit out of.
I mean, the SEC is just top to bottom better than everybody else. Why shouldn't they get 4 teams done?
So you're saying Penn State beats Ohio State. Ohio State beats the shit
It
out of
doesn't
Michigan.
matter. Resume. They play an SEC team every week.
I mean, if Ohio State runs the table, I mean,
Ohio State and Michigan can both be undefeated in an alternate universe, and they won't get in over those 4 teams with 1 loss.
All right then. All right, yeah. Since I got to make a pick, I'll leave out. I'll leave out Tennessee. Fuck them.
Oh.
Yeah, it's tough.
No Rocky
It's tough.
Top Ferry.
Yeah,
They
I'm
probably
sorry.
would be the team left out,
I think so too. Yeah.
but not when Notre Dame beats Clemson. They'll get up for that game. They
Yeah.
hung with Ohio State, lose to Marshall, kill North Carolina, lose to fucking Stanford. they'll be up for Clemson.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'll be
fair
up for
enough.
USC. Maybe they probably wouldn't beat USC, but they could beat Clemson. I think. We'll see when we get
Maybe.
here. We'll see when that game rolls around. It's actually soon. I think it's in like 2 weeks.
Revenge game for DJ though.
It is.
Mhm.
You didn't account
But
for
it's
that,
a
did you?
revenge game for Notre Dame though.
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, they lost to him last.
Last year.
No, but DJ,
On
they
the
were
game
split
in
that
Notre
year,
Dame
so it's
with
not
their
like that huge
COVID.
of a deal. DJ lost.
DJ
hurt
lost.
himself.
Yeah.
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 All right. That is the show. Week 8 in the books. Yeah. Well,
Go
so
Pitt.
what it was
It's a quick one.
LSU under Kansas State, TCU, and Pitt.
Why
Plus
do you have to
2.5.
laugh when you say mine?
Because we
disrespectful.
because
I left out West Virginia this week, and then here you are. I got locks of the week. Pitt on the
So,
road. Just
I think
you
they're
know.
the better team.
Yeah. Well.
They got some dog in them.
guess we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, that's the show.